Imagine a world where giant corporations rule everything.
I don't have to imagine it, am I right? Yeah, it's all too real in this day and age. I hate big corporations.
Don't you work for Microsoft?
Yeah, I do, but, you know, it's different because I'm, like, changing it from the inside by, You see, the thing is...
What we're actually talking about this week is Syndicate, the reboot of a classic franchise from EA and Starbreeze Studios. You play as a prototype soldier in the employ of Eurocorp, one of the most powerful corporations or syndicates in the world.
But before we get to the game itself, it's worth saying a word about Starbreeze, a great development studio that doesn't see a lot of fanfare. Many gamers will remember Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay on the original Xbox. This was a game of little to no expectations that took a lot of people by surprise by actually being good, with a deep, gritty, ultra-violent story and extremely satisfying shooting gameplay. Well, Starbreeze hasn't lost its touch. Expect the same feeling and attention to detail from Syndicate.
When it comes to the game itself, Syndicate separates itself from other shooters with the Dart 6 system, as it's called in the game. Instead of simply running and gunning, you can use the chipset built into your soldier to breach other computer systems, including chips inside enemy combatants.
For example, you can force an enemy's gun to backfire, creating an instant advantage in a firefight. Likewise, you can force enemies to commit suicide in such a violent fashion that it will tear through other nearby enemies. You can even use the Persuadertron...
Persuade breach.
Right, sorry, to make enemies fight on your side for a brief time and then commit suicide.
You can also bring up the Dart 6 heads-up display to spot enemy movements behind walls and locate items of interest in the area. All this brings a level of intellectual heft to the first-person shooter genre. Instead of simply running, gunning and darting from cover to cover, you're now given a great toolset with which to tackle combat encounters. In turn, you can create some memorable, amazing fight sequences as you marry Twitch gameplay with tactical breaching. In practice, it just makes every gunfight a lot more interesting.
Starbreeze has always done an outstanding job as well of making you feel as if you're controlling a person in a first-person shooter rather than just a floating gun on a stick, and that carries through here too.
Whether using the slide mechanic to flip from cover to cover, or executing enemies with melee attacks, or even just ripping a panel off a wall, you feel the weight of your character every turn. It just helps to create a much more immersive experience.
And finally, while Syndicate is a relentless, fast-paced game at times, there's a great amount of detail and backstory for the world. You'll find tons of data transfers and other unlockables that add an immense amount of context to the world and help you understand the part you play in this story. If you haven't paid attention to this game before, hopefully this brief look has helped you decide whether this is the game for you.
Remember as well that there's a demo available right now on the game marketplace for you to download, where you can take a crack at the 4-player cooperative mode, a story-based mode where you and your fellow agents need to combine your powers to overcome the rival corporations.
Thanks for watching Insider Moves, everyone. We'll see you next time. Now, back to lunch.
You mean this big pile of Nestle and Coca-Cola products?
Smash the system!